to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. The video clips of Kenyans protesting in Nairobi. And one of the things that we must get right as a country, the country should never slide to lawlessness. What has happened in Nairobi today is very disgraceful and very disappointment for the quest on justice for Albert Ojwang. In this podcast, we want to look at the Nairobi protest invaded by goons, and even police have shot one protester. But a shocker to many is what the president is saying about this in Naivasha. Kindly subscribe to our channel. But before we do that, I'm still reminding you that requesting you to partner with us through your contribution to support a boy here called Stephen. The photo you're seeing here is a lady called Eunice. We helped Eunice sometime in March. Alikuwa tibiwe, so akatibiwe Kisumu, Russia. So when I was in Kakamega during Kishinyalu mission, I received a call from the son. And when I went to their home, I established that Eunice died, that was mid-May, and was buried. But after that burial, this boy got stroke. This boy is a 15-year-old boy, a Form 2 boy. Alipata stroke. Ameshaka kwa nyumba, this is the third week. He's not been taken to the hospital, and the support system is not there completely.
Ukijaribu kuinua what you feel?
Alitoa hata kwa hata nikijaribu kubeba siwezi.
You feel pain, no? Basi mtu akijaribu kubeba kuinua
ananua tu.
Okay. So if I understand, hii mguu huwezi inua hivi. You as a person when you're raising more, but someone can lift it.
People who come from that side, the father does that inheritance, the terror thing. So the father disappeared after the burial of the mother. So kijana alibaki na watoto wao wawili who are twins, who are 5 years old, but they were taken na sister mama. So this boy remains there alone. I am requesting you to help us respond to this distress so that we can take him to the hospital. I already sent the team. They were telling me there was some protest hapo katikati, but they're on their way to Siaya. Tomorrow morning, this boy should be taken to the hospital, afanyiwe test, so that they establish his condition, so that haweze kutibiwa, and if he can get a way to regain his mobility, if he can come back to his feet, asimame arudi shule. At least September, kama inawezekana, kijana arudi shule. Kama anaweza tembea. If the doctors will establish that it has escalated and then he will have to use a wheelchair, then we'll also determine at that level. As looking at 200,000. And I want to say thank you, because as I talked to you, I started this appeal yesterday. I already have 66,000. Asanteni sana. I believe with your partnership, with your support, as we help them, also let's pray for this boy. I went there. I saw what he's going through. I just believe, I just hope that God will also come through. Even as we come through as a foundation, as a team, God will also come through for him. And if you know a medical solution, a hospital within Kisumu or Nairobi, where you think is appropriate to handle stroke, please tell me so that we can help this boy. Nataka atolewe, apeleke hospitali, so that she can get back to her feet, to his feet. And may God bless you as we purpose to support this. Back to the protest. Do you know today, in the morning, the crowds were milling around the Nation Center. and people were just carrying placards, the newspaper headlines, and some were putting on the black and the white shirts with write-up of Stop Killing, which was outrightly a legitimate protest, and protesters are always known. I even saw some white lady, some Zungu lady around Nation Center who was talking and calling on the people to come out and demand justice for Albert.
Since the murder of Rex Masai, 1 year later, there's not been one single arrest, not one conviction, no justice, no accountability. So as we are outraged with the murder of Albert and the murders since then and the historic extrajudicial killings and police violence and brutality, we also demand accountability and prosecution and arrest of all of those who participated in the murder of the Gen Z last year. How is it that 1 year on, when the murders were clearly identified on camera, on CCTV, they've been named, they've even been in court, how is it that we're still only in an inquest to decide whether or not there's enough evidence for trial for only one case of Rex Masai? And there were 60 plus youth murdered last year. So as we demand justice for Albert, we also demand justice, accountability, arrest, prosecution and compensation for the families. All of those families were also had tragic losses. Their children tortured, some leaving behind children, leaving relatives. Some have still not been found, some abducted, not yet returned to this day. Others showed up in morgues. Why is it this one that is only being recognized as so tragic and so urgent? We stand with Albert, we stand with his family, but we also stand with the families of all of the victims of extrajudicial killings. Stepping aside is not enough. Resigning is not enough. Arrest and prosecution of all of the murderers, all of the state murderers, their commanders, their leaders, their accomplices. Even Ruto is our chief murderer, directing the army and the police forces, the military who were clearly shown to have murdered someone, as well as the police murdering 60 youth and plus.
Wakamleta huku, wakamchapa, wakamfanyia torture, wakamuua. Wanajifanya sio wao, lakini kila Mkenya anajua kwamba hii maneno ya abductions na mauaji inaanza na huyu mkora Kasongo na wakora wake wa karibu. Kwa hivyo, kulingana na katiba yetu, Kasongo alijifuta kazi kama president ile siku ambaye alianza kuua vijana wetu. Na ndio nawaomba kama wananchi, tushikane kama kitu kimoja, tutumie nguvu yetu ya kikatiba na haki yetu ya kikatiba. Tuseme Kasongo must go. Na tukisema hivyo na sauti moja, nchi mzima, huyu Kasongo ataenda nyumbani na hakuna kitu atafanya, kwa sababu katiba inasema kwamba power yote katika nchi yetu ni yenyu, power ni ya wananchi. Na ukiangalia uongozi ya huyu
This took a turn, and I even saw another video where the gentleman who was saying the people must come out and call out William Ruto on this. So truth be said, what was a legitimate protest, around midday, things took a different turn. And in this video, but then before I even show you, do you know protest happened in Kilifi, Mombasa, Nairobi, Nakuru, and Homa Bay? Now, around midday, I genuinely can't understand why goons that were carried in boda were ferried in town. And you can see these videos. These were goons wamebebwa in their numbers 3 or 4. Pikipiki moja inabebwa watu watatu ama watu wawili, wakaletwa town. This group rained terror on innocent protesters who were just demanding nothing short of justice for Albert. So bad. And when this happened, if you look at this video, is Nairobi Highway, around the Nairobi University. was taken that point. They were chasing anyone and everyone. Remember, the security agencies did not say that what was in the town. So yes, the protest, but people went to town. And of course, there are those who will choose to join and those who will choose not. This character of sending goons, and do you know, it brought clashes between the goons and civilians. The goons who were in town robbed residents. They robbed civilians. They were the goons who were libya watu. They robbed everyone and anyone they could meet around. And they also attacked protesters, wakipiga watu na rungu. And if I want to tell you that this was a well-chained and commanded team, I want you to look at this photo. Hapa ni magoon, lakini wako na mkubwa wao. The guy in that gray combat. That is a police officer. That is a security officer. So apart from the plain cloth, they also sent information about all this. And this was coming. This is a very dangerous one. Because one, there are three people that must be worried about this. The first person is Johnson Sakaja. Let me tell you, we've had Gaucho even last time threatening the way they will send goons. Previous night they were also sending people the way we will send goons and disrupt those protests. The one person that should get worried is Sakaja. Nairobi is watching. Nairobi is watching. And the goons are actually perceived to be a county operation. One thing I don't understand here is we have a police service. You have policemen. You have security officers. And last time they also did protection. This orthodox, this awkward, old school strategy of giving young people rungus to go to town and beat their fellow citizens because the fellow citizens are protesting, I think it is an affront on justice. The second person to get worried is actually the IG Kanja. Kanja should get worried. Why? And at this point, I think Murkomen should tell us, yes, the ministry doesn't meddle on police operations, but does the ministry accept civilians to be given rungus and protected by the police so that they can rain terror on people, on protesters? I am not seeing any single protester mwenye amepigwa akiwa kwa duka ya mtu. Pikipiki imechomwa. One goon who was beating people was also beaten up. And can I tell you why this must worry Kanja? If something happens, the government keeps on saying, we are not involved in police operations. And that is why Kanja must be very careful, because he might not get away with this. He might not get away with this. He's the person who will be put on dock to answer queries. The third person to get worried is William Ruto. And I want to tell you why. Do you know today, another person has been shot?
Amepigwa risasi kichwa na amekufa tu hapo hapo. What the hell? Mko na hiyo picha? video.
Around Haile Selassie Street. This one here. And this is what we've been warning about. I did say that last year's protest was triggered by killing of Rex Masai. The protest is not anti-finance bill. The protest is the protest against violation of human rights. And in the same breath, someone is being killed. How do you defend the two? How do you defend the two? The protest was not outlawed. The ministry, Murkomen, gave a statement on Monday. There is no way he said that the protests is outlawed. It was there. Then all of a sudden, things turn chaotic. People who do businesses in town are counting losses. And let me tell you why Ruto must also get worried. The perceived goons are also thugs. I saw them, they're the ones that are also mugging people. So those people you give rungus and call them goons, those people are also thugs. Remember, there is no difference between them and these young people they are beating. Kama, these young people are demanding justice. Ata wow, and it should be a shame that these are given because we have the police who are supposed to do the work. I don't think any level of stand-handiness will make them escape the accountability question on the death of Albert. I don't think so. The question of Albert is key, and no level of intimidation is going to rub it off. I've seen a statement by Odour, and I think ODM, I've seen Odour and Gitobi Manyara, I think they have done a presser, and they're calling for resignation of Eliud Lagat. The people feel that this story of Eliud Lagat stepping down is fake, is not the real thing. And they're demanding that you don't just step down, you resign and be prosecuted. And be prosecuted. Now, as Nairobi was turning chaotic, people losing business, their business getting destroyed, Kenyans mugged, stoned, police engaging running battles, and even protesters shot. The president was talking in Naivasha, and I've listened to his statement, and I choose to call it arrogant and a bit reckless.
No amount of noise, kelele, fitina, propaganda, sway mimi from delivering on this agenda. And I am willing to pay the price, whatever it is, to make sure that we transform this country and we house as many Kenyans as possible. So I give you my word on that. Number two, you have said with a lot of clarity that apart from building these houses, our mission was also to create jobs. Wewe mwenyewe umesema vijana walikuwa wanaomba chakula, sasa wako busy. Wanafanya kazi ya paint work, wengine wanafanya steel fixing, wengine wanafanya kutengeneza madirisha, kutengeneza milango, ni wafanyabiashara. People like Steve here have become homeowners, and those young people working in those spaces will also subsequently become homeowners. So that is the future that we all want to live. And you have also said something transformational. Kwamba, as we do this, we are giving you a chance to own a home where your father did not give you a chance to own a home. You now have a chance to own a home, and you can either transfer that home to your kid, or he can buy his as we roll out this program. You've also said something is going on in Ukwala. I want to tell you, we are not only building the market in Ukwala, we are also doing affordable housing in Ukwala. The home you ran away from. Tumefanya mambo pia pale. Unaona? So, this is not just about Nairobi.
You cannot call whatever is happening as kelele. I don't think it is kelele. From where I'm seated, it is a genuine call for accountability on police actions. The president is talking about how people have been given jobs in affordable housing. The people who have been given jobs in affordable housing, are they the ones that are protesting? So don't you ask yourself, if you build houses, is it enough? If you have people who've created jobs in affordable housing, then where are you getting goods? And for someone should, and even a young person, wakati unaitwa uende ukue goon, you must ask yourself, you must ask yourself a simple question. You know why? Look at what's happening in that case. The bosses who issued orders for Albert to be tortured are not in question. No one is talking about them. The small fish is being fried. Saizi, if something happens, the police will escape and they will pick 1 or 2 goons to be responsible. I can tell you, even this one has been shot. Watasema as a civilian, and they will pick one person to sacrifice and say, you're the one who has done it. So I think even for the young people, they must be very careful. Before you get into some deals, you must be very careful. To President William Ruto, whatever is happening and whatever has happened in CBD is courting disaster and is a recipe for chaos and collapse. Number one, you must see, for the state to resort to hiring goons to neutralize protests is actually exposing corrosion, the rot in the police system. Does it mean you don't support, you don't believe in the system? You lack trust in it. And it's causing disaster because you are slowly brewing civilian clashes. Let me tell you what will happen. The whole discussion will then turn to people from tribe A were sent to beat people from tribe B. And majority of those fellows who are sent are the broad-based fellows. Now this kind of strategy, this cannot substitute the call for justice. And we want to be very categorical. Today, the country is demanding answers. You silence the dissent through the guns, the rungus, and all manner of tools. The same thing happened last year. If this happens, then the day of elections, people feel this is what has happened. Will you silence dissent? You know, now you have the state powers and all the privileges. Will that happen after election? Someone must get worried. You are creating a dangerous euphoria for a build-up of a protest. In fact, instead of negating the influence of the protest, instead of working in reverse to reverse the protest, you're actually injecting more energy on that protest. And this is what I mean. You're giving people more reason to believe that you're not interested in pushing for justice. If one person had to die because of a Twitter post, and the whole country is now running into chaos, do you think it will be? And even this is putting even that broad-based thing in a very dangerous space. I've seen the press briefing that I've just played in a very dangerous place, because now the parents will start asking, ODM, our children are being killed, you are cheering this man. Those questions will emerge. So we are creating a very dangerous euphoria, and especially for 2020, for June 25th build-up. We are going for violation of human rights, which is also the principal reason why these young people on the street. How about if the call now changes from justice to Albert Ojwang to someone else? Remember I said, the rage against the state is not the rage coming because of solely Albert. It is a cumulative anger. People have seen that they are helpless and they're not getting what they need from the administration. I still believe we can do better. And on this strategy of using goons, it is backward, it is stupid, it is dangerous, and of course, it is even illegal. So we have police who are paid by taxpayers' money. The only thing they need to do is to act, conduct themselves in a good. But I can tell you it was a fear strategy to instill fear so that people don't protest. To beat up people so that you create lawlessness and make sure that those who do bad things get away with it. We cannot solve Albert issue by creating another Albert issue. We must work smartly backwards, because what we are doing is actually creating more reason and momentum for what will be the matter. You know, with time, people will also turn against these goons and say, oh, you sent goons, we are going back, send them back. And then people now create clashes, and it will be more dangerous if the clashes is between person A and person B and both of them are civilians. It's more dangerous. We should not go that direction. The issue of sending goons is not an option. And Nairobi is sinking to its lowest point. Even Uhuru differed with Raila on protest. There was that Nairobi business community. We never saw what we are seeing. They issued press briefing and then disappeared. We never saw what we are seeing in Nairobi. That's not the position. Thank you.